It is an electric car, it's all electric. I said, okay, so how big is your engine?
Yeah, I have the same problem.
It doesn't have an engine, it has a motor. So how big is the motor? So I give up and said, well, it's a V8. Oh, a V8, okay, well, let's see the V8. So I'll show you my V8.
Oh my.
You know, it's familiarity. People just not comfortable when you talk car, it doesn't have V6, V8.
Sure, sure.
So I said, yeah, it's got a V8. Oh, okay, a V8, good. Oh, that's my
There you
V8.
go.
What?
Hey, honey. All right, I'm surprised. I expected to see more than that in there.
That's a pretty good joke. Do they get it?
Most people got it. Then they said, all right, so funny, haha, where's the engine?
Yeah.
Super razors.
Good surface.
Yeah.
Because the last
Well, I can see
Yeah, it has its flaws, but very much so. And the floorboard
2 motors, okay.
is the battery. So when you it's the new version,
Oh, that's not what you
that's the D.
Okay.
So everything
missed
is
it.
underneath the car.
I missed it by about a month.
Oh, well.
The Sustainability Network, which is an offshoot of the Appalachian chapter of the Sierra Club. This is, as you've already heard, Jack Chan, and he has the Telsa and
Tesla.
the Volt, the Chevy Volt. And we have William Beal, who
Carol
with his
owns the car.
with his wife Carol, who are on the front page of the Messenger this morning with their solar displays. And they have the Leaf down there. And then, who's the Mitsubishi guy, right? Brian. Okay. And Brian just happened to pop in with a Mitsubishi. So we have 4 EVs, and they will take their turn explaining it.
That electric car there costs less to operate than any other car sold in the United States in 2014. That includes buying it, running it, fueling it, selling it. That's the one that's plugged into the grid. You see down there, that's the one that we have that's plugged into solar. So it's one half the other one.
And that includes purchase price, everything.
That includes every nickel you take out of your pocket.
Duh.
Yeah, fluid, check the battery, check the washing fluid, and you're done. What? No oil change? And I don't need all the rest of it. There isn't anything. What's to it? There's 2 bearings in a rotor, that's all there is. You lay out the parts of a V8 and you lay out the parts of an electric motor, you can hardly see the parts of the electric motor compared to the V8.
William Beal's car.
Really enjoy it. We've driven it almost 10,000 miles and not used anything for fuel except the sun. The only disadvantage is it has an 85-mile range. It's not a disadvantage to us because mainly I'm just running in and out of town. But when we want to go to a conference somewhere else, we have to borrow back our car from our daughter, our gas car. It's really a lovely car. You can't buy it in Athens. We had to buy it in Columbus, and they had to bring it down on a flatbed because it's too far to drive it. So, you know, when are they going to wake up in Athens? I've talked to the Nissan people twice, but they're not interested.
Car dealers don't want to sell them because they can't make any money. They make their money on repairs and service. They don't like them.
It's actually a luxury car. It's got a Bose hi-fi system, which is super. It's got a Sirius radio, which connects to 150 stations, and what it connects to is classical music, which you can't even get anymore in Athens. So that's a real plus for me. It has heated seats if you want it, and it's amazing how cold it can get, and you can feel comfortable with a heated seat, and the heated seat doesn't affect your mileage at all, apparently. Turning the blower on the regular heater does knock down the estimated mileage by about 5 miles. AEP paid us $250, and that's all of the running of the car and the electric stoves and the heat pump for the heating the house and the heat pump for heating our water and so forth. A 240 volt, which is a fast charger, we had to buy extra, and that was expensive, but we don't use it much.
1450.
I have 24 solar panels that are grid tie connected at home already that I hooked up myself after watching a bunch of YouTube videos. I'm an administrative support person, so I don't have any electrical background, but it was something I've always wanted to do. And then I bought this on May 17th of 2012, and I've driven over 38,000 gas-free miles with zero maintenance whatsoever for almost 3 whole years. Nothing whatsoever. Tires.
That means really
Nothing.
you don't have to take it in for anything?
You should, but I haven't. Because if I did, I'd have to go all the way to Canal Winchester. I bought the car, I bought it south of Pittsburgh. I had to tow it with a U-Haul on a flatbed. Because the range was so far, of course, I couldn't just drive it home.
What is
So,
your range?
65 miles.
Okay.
Probably by the time we're all done with this meeting, my car should be charged back to full again. I live in Washington County, so it took me about 34 miles to get here. I used a little over half a tank. A lot of wind today.
Charger have a readout tell you where you're at there?
On the car there is, if you'll look inside, there's a dial that tells you. Build a portable solar charging system so that I could have a couple batteries in the back, a solar panel, and I've got a 2,000 watt inverter and then I just upgraded the charge cord. I had to send it to California to have it upgraded so that I could decrease the amperage on it and adjust it by 2 amps from 6 to 12, 3.75 miles per kilowatt.
I got a little handout. If you're interested in numbers, this is on the windshield, and you can have it if you want. If you're not interested in numbers, you don't need to look at it.
Your lights.
It runs the standard stuff in a regular.
So what kind of batteries does this have?
Similar to the Tesla, but not a lot. Nothing like as many.
Nickel, cadmium?
Yeah.
Are they like his, the little round ones?
No. Everybody's got his own battery, and everybody's working like crazy to improve them. And they are improving every minute. And all of the companies are saying the next generation will be twice as far. Used electric cars, they're amazingly cheap because people are scared by the battery. You can buy a used Leaf for $14K. That is a fantastic bargain.
Mine actually came with a 10-year warranty on the battery.
And what is the price of one of these?
I paid $18,600 for mine.
Really?
So I only have about a fourth of the range, but as the Tesla, but also about a fourth of the cost.
Yeah.
And do you know how much the batteries go for if you were putting one in a used car?
$5K for this one.
Okay.
So 14 plus 5. That's not too much.
If
Not
you need a
anywhere near.
battery change, it's under warranty. So the thing is, battery technology is improving so much that the cost is continuously getting less and less.
Yeah, I speak as an engineer who does this kind of stuff, is advancing at an incredibly rapid speed, any new technology. It just improves bam, 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 like that. Like cell phones.
Stuck down there and can't come up, I can tow the car back up here. And I'm going to leave the car there until spring. So
No,
when it
that's not a
starts
good
to,
idea.
yeah, I cannot. It's a
No,
50.
you got the traction on the ground.
50
That's
amp.
just-
It may, but I just didn't know, and I didn't have the guts to try. So when it starts to snow, we drive the truck. It runs on battery, and the battery gets you In the winter, about 38 miles, 36, 38 miles. And then it switches over seamlessly, switch over to gasoline. In the summer, when it's warm, I get about 50 miles to one charge. It switches over seamlessly, and you don't even know that you switch over.
The gas engine drive the car, or is it simply charge the battery?
Just charge the battery.
So there's only one drive engine, the electric motor.
Correct. The battery is a T-shaped battery. The back seat sits on the crossbar, and there's a forward extension that goes along the tunnel. That lowers the center of gravity, and the drive is just fantastic. You know, electric motor has instant torque. A traffic light, and if I want to cut in front of you and you're in the ICE, internal combustion engine car, I would impress the heck out of you. I would zoom and come in front of you. But after the first second or two, a bicycle can overtake me. It doesn't have a lot of power, but it's adequate.
You can recharge, plug in.
Yes. Excuse me, hold on for a second. Can't chew gum at the same time, sorry. All batteries degenerate.
Ion batteries, they'll go pretty much level and then just die all of a sudden.
Right,
You know,
right.
so-
That's the characteristic of lithium ion. But I'm talking about over time, over years, all battery degrade. Okay, and the degree of degradation depends on how well the battery is babied. Babied in the sense that it keeps it at a narrow operating range. If it is too high, if it is too cold, then you're in trouble. Heat is the worst enemy to all electronic components, and battery is no exception. So in the Volt, what it does is that it has a battery tender. It has a liquid bath to encirculate the battery, and it runs itself. The car never sleeps. If the temperature gets too hot, it cools it. And then when it gets cold, it warms it. So it keeps it within a operative range.
Do any of these cars have regenerative braking that charges
Yeah.
the battery?
Yeah.
Mine does.
I think that's pretty standard now.
On mine, I can actually shift it. I have 3 different driving
Right,
ranges.
right.
And I can actually shift mine depending on where I'm
Right.
driving. Like if I'm in the city, I can shift it down to B for an increase in regenerative braking. So that when I'm in the city where you're doing a lot more stopping, I can actually watch my range go up from driving in the city. Because when you're letting off the gas, it forces it down into that charging zone.
One pedal driving, you don't touch the brakes. So you don't have to worry about your brake pad. You come to traffic, you just let off on your go pedal, and the car slows down.
Because you're getting the regenerative
The
braking
regenerative, right. Tesla, when you let off like this, the brake lights come on so that people don't rear end you.
Prius manual said, when you're stopped or during start off, the gasoline engine stops when the vehicle is stopped. During start off, the electric motor, traction motor, drives the vehicle. At slow speeds or when traveling down a gentle slope, the engine is stopped, that is the gasoline engine, and the electric motor is used. During normal driving, so higher than low speeds, the gasoline engine is predominantly used. The electric motor charges the hybrid battery as necessary. If you're sharply accelerating, the power of the hybrid battery is added to that of the gasoline engine.
How much you want to charge? You want to charge from 0 to full, or you just want to get enough so that you can go to your next destination? With 110, it takes me 8 hours to charge the car from 0 to 40 miles in the Chevy. If I charge it in 240, I can go from 0 to full in a matter of 4 hours. This discrepancy is magnified in the Tesla. If you charge the Tesla from nothing to full in a household 110, it takes 10 days. 10 days. And if it is cold, you may not charge it to full because the household current is not enough to overcome that. And it was essentially stop charging until it's warm and then it charge again. If you use a 30 amp, your electric dryer is 30 amp. So if you plug into your electric dryer outlet and use that to charge the Tesla, it takes about 24 hours. So there's a big jump right there. Your range, electric range is 50 amps. If you use a 50 amp, you can charge from nothing to full in 8 hours, which is 265 miles of range. But if you have a dual charger, which the Tesla sells, and it is 100 amp now, all the engineers here would know that if you have a 100 amp charger, you really don't charge 100 amp, it's 80 amp, right? 80%. So if you charge at 80 amp, it would charge from nothing to full in 4 hours. So you see how it jumps up. Now if you go to the network of superchargers that Tesla maintain, you can get 170 miles in 20 minutes. If you buy an 85 kilowatt battery, then the price of your car includes the privilege to use the supercharger. If you buy a 60 kilowatt battery car, you have to pay $2,000 to use the superchargers. On the big iPad that I have in the car, all the superchargers are listed there on the map. Tap on your nearest one, and it tells you where it is, and you tap navigate, and it will get you there.
And that's built right into
It's
the
all
dash.
built in. The nearest one to us is up in Columbus, in Grove City. They usually lease a place, some kind of parking lot where restaurants and motels are situated. Charges at 150 amp of DC. There's an AC charging, which is what I'm using at home. And when I'm on the road, I go to the supercharger and there's a DC system. I go either way. Accommodate 8 cars in one supercharging station. Today, according to Elon Musk, today they're kicking out a new firmware. Oh, by the way, the car periodically will upgrade itself. It will give you a firmware, kind of like your iPhone. And the mothership has all the control. And they pushed the firmware, and yesterday was the first day that people started to get firmware updates. 6.2, the upgrade, and everybody was all, excited about that. It would tell you, if you put in a destination, whether your car has enough juice to get there. If it doesn't, it would tell you that you need to charge and where is the nearest supercharging station. It will ping the supercharger and see whether the supercharger is occupied. Let's say all the stalls are occupied, it will tell you that it is occupied, and you can ping somebody else and see whether you can get there. The VIN number is up to 66,000 now. But that includes Norway, Europe, China, Japan.
There might be 10, 15,000 of them in this country.
Right.
We were online today, and what do we see? That they manufactured 1,200 cars and they sold 800.
Yeah, it was like, I forget, 12,000 maybe?
They manufactured 12,000.
I can't
Well, they didn't sell all the cars they manufactured. They were down.
Where? Tesla?
Yeah. They manufactured.
Well, I wonder if those cars were being shipped abroad or being delivered or what. But as far as I know, the waiting period for Tesla has shortened now.
Yeah.
When I got this, I waited 3.5 months. It is now 2.5 months.
Well, what do you think about the companies who make electric cars banding together and having a system?
For some reason, people are not, very cooperative.
Same thing with iPhone systems, telephones. You think that they'd have one universal charge cord for all phones, and they don't.
Hold on a second. Elon Musk publicly announced that the patents for the technology are actually widely available.
Elon Musk says that we will not sue you if you infringe on our patents.
Meaning
He gave it out.
Yeah.
But they just, the interest is not there, and I don't know why. And most people, correct me if I'm wrong, but most people, I'm talking about BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, they are more interested instead of getting a pure electric car, they're interested in getting an electric motor to supplement the gas motor so that they can go faster. You know, I don't know what they're thinking because the P85D, you know, that's the king of the hill for Tesla right now. 0 to 60 is 3.2.
Yeah, it goes as fast as Porsche.
So faster, yeah, that's a Porsche. So even my lowly P85, 0 to 60 is 4.2 seconds. And when you take a ride, you know, if you're taking nitroglycerin, don't take a ride. They allowed them to say that it's 265. You will never get 265 unless you're going downhill. All 265. Because 265, when you're traveling that 265 miles, you did not discount the electricity used to run the car. Your lights, your radio, your fan, your air conditioning, your heat, your iPad, the iPad, none of those. So for 265, you basically are getting maybe 240 actual miles. So that's the reason why when I calculate, but with new update, I don't need to calculate anymore. But when I was calculating my last trip, and I'll talk to you about my trip out to California, when I calculate that, instead of using the actual miles, there's a term called range mile. Range mile is much smaller than the actual mile. Range mile is dependent on all the things that I just mentioned, running the car, but it also is dependent on wind. If you're going into, you have a
Traveling from
headwind,
east to west.
you lose a lot of miles. If you're going uphill, you lose a lot of miles. You're going downhill, you gain miles. The temperature, if you go in at 70 degrees, you have one value. You go in at 30, you drop like a stone. So all those environmental factors play a big factor.
Same with internal combustion engine.
Exactly. You just don't notice it.
And that 85K, is that totally usable or is only half of that usable?
No, it is about 80% of that or 90% of that is usable because they crop off the top and the bottom. They will not allow the battery to get totally drained, and it will not allow the battery to be totally charged. As a matter of fact, even cropping out the top and bottom, they tell you not to charge the battery all the way up. So I charge the battery when I'm in town, not taking a long trip. Even going up to Columbus, that is local to me because I can go round trip. I only charge it to 80%. 80% is 220 miles, and that's a round trip. And now that Grove City Superchargers is up and running, I have no fear. September 9th, I think. And then my wife has a nephew that got married down in Florida, in Tampa. So we drove down. So we figured, well, we'll try it out the car. We drove down. It was perfect. It was great. What happened was that we drove all the way down, and I was hoping to get a charge from a guy, a Tesla owner, in Charleston, West Virginia. Oh, by the way, there's a website you guys may want to look at that. It's called plugshare.com.
I'm on there now.
And when you go to the website, it tells you all the people who voluntarily put up their address and tell you what they have, so that if you're in the bind, you need a charge, then you can call them and plug in. So just like here.
Are you on the list?
Yeah. So I tried the guy in West Virginia, Charleston, and the guy said, "I'm sorry, I'm in New York." I said, "Okay, well, all right." So I drove down to somewhere along the freeway, and it was a Nissan dealer. And Nissan dealer, I tell you, bless their hearts, they are really nice. And they said, "Oh yeah, sure, come and charge," except that they have a J1772 charger that is 30 amp. Give me about 26 miles to the hour of charge. Doesn't help me. I got to charge 2 hours before I can do anything. So I charge just to give me a little bit more range, so that I can go to a RV park, and they have a 50 amp charger, and I spend the night there and charge overnight, and I'm all charged up. But anyway, so I charged there at the Nissan place, went to
Withville.
Yeah.
I always go to work.
And there was there is this RV park, and those people are just the nicest people. But they didn't have any cabin for rent, so I can't sleep at the RV park. So he said, well, there is a motel down the road, about a mile down the road. I said, okay. So Karen and I thought that we were going to hoof all the way down there. He said, oh, we'll give you a ride. So I plug in the car, gave him $10, charged me $10 overnight. Plug in the car, they wheel me to Best Western, spend the night at dinner there. The next morning they came and picked me up. The car is all charged up. But the thing is, plug sharing plugs and meeting people. We went from Withville, we went to North Carolina, and I can't remember the town. And there was the Tesla owner there that put his charger up to share. And he has a 100 amp charger. Woohoo! I mean, I could get 60 miles to the hour.
Outlet that you can plug
Right.
that into.
Right, you plug in a regular outlet.
Mine too, I use one.
Electric lawnmower that is self-powered, and we just plug it into our house.
My name is Sarah Conley, evening's moderator and I guess community agenda keeper. I'd like to thank some of our community partners who have made this event possible. Tonight you'll be hearing from community members who've been hard at work developing a shared vision for the future of our community, a vision that's starting to become a reality. For tonight's event, by conjuring the future, I can see with clarity a picture of Athens County 10 years from now. In this vision, Athens County is nationally recognized as a leader in energy efficiency innovation, having transformed homes, stores, offices, schools to lean, mean, energy-efficient machines that utilize every kilowatt of energy effectively, wasting nothing through drafty doors or leaky windows. Everyone in Athens County understands that saving money makes sense, and we all do our part. Picture your house with no drafty doors, an insulated attic, an affordable energy bill. Picture your neighborhood with solar panels dotting the rooftops. Envision your son or daughter's school as a warm, well-insulated place to go each day, where students learn about saving energy by studying how the solar array on the school's rooftop generates power. In this vision, renewable energy rules, from solar farms to methane digesters, wood gasification to micro-hydro generation. Athens County leads the state as the first carbon-free county, demonstrating to the nation a model for energy sustainability that results in a robust local economy. Job growth and business investment flourishes, and we have a healthy environment where fresh air and water abound. We are a proud, united, vibrant, and prosperous community that makes wise energy choices. We stand together for energy independence. We show everyone that it can be done. Now take a moment to picture a future where we don't take action. The same old extractive industry practices continue, local dollars leave the community, and we continue to have a slow growth economy. Which vision looks better to you? Today, there's incredible momentum for Athens County to make a pivotal change in our energy economy. And the time to decide on the future that we want is now. We can leave the past behind and write a new blueprint for our community. But who's going to do all this work? We all will. Tonight you'll hear from some of the change makers who will guide us through this community-wide transformation step by step. And it will take time, this much is true. I'm a proud mother of 3 beautiful children, and I know something of what it takes to support and nurture new life into being. Raising a child begins well before they're born, requiring preparation, a strong vision, and a lot of hard work. In the same way, our community has been pregnant with a beautiful vision for our energy future. Each day, we've planned and nurtured, fed and cared for this idea that has grown so much in 9 months. And today, as I see it, we celebrate the birth of this vision, from a small idea to reality. So, happy birthday, Great Athens County. We now have an infant that requires vigilant care and attention. In order for it to grow stronger, to crawl, indeed to stand up and walk independently, we must work together. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and even more so, to raise a vision. Thank you for being part of that village that will guide us the vision along. So tonight, you're going to hear some great solutions that are underway to transform the future of Athens County. Our first presenter is well known for his ability to turn dreams into reality. Chris Schmiel is the first-term county commissioner. He's been hard at work creating jobs and opportunity at the county level. Using his talent as an entrepreneur and innovative thinker, Chris is well known for establishing the Pawpaw Festival, now in its 15th year. He has taught us that it's possible to turn pawpaws into profit through his business, Integration Acres, harnessing the value of a local resource and maximizing its potential. Chris has been instrumental in initiating the efforts to upgrade Athens County's energy economy by garnering support for the passage of countywide aggregation and enlisting us in the Georgetown University Energy Prize. Please join me in welcoming Chris Schmiel.
I do want to thank all the volunteers that have already contributed lots of hours to get us to this point. I did want to just talk a little bit about the competition that we're in here. We're competing against 49 other communities to win $5 million. This is sponsored through Georgetown University, and we did take a small group of us from Athens County to Georgetown. We got to go to the White House. Pretty exciting. And we had more people at the launch than anybody. So we're already ahead. And actually we have an insight. Somebody from Athens County works for Georgetown. Talia Morah. I don't know if anybody knows her. She's an insider. Shh. But we've got some stiff competition here. Palo Alto, California, where Google is from. They've already energy efficient. They're already there, so we're going to beat them, no problem. Fort Collins, Colorado, they've got a sustainability director, but that's why we can win, because this is all about the change that we can have happen in the next 2 years. One of 2 in Ohio, Oberlin, Ohio is another one. So this is a friendly competition, so these are places that we can call, we can collaborate with and learn things from. But I really want to win this competition, okay? And I need your help. I think we can do it. I think we actually have a great potential to do this. We've got a lot of good people with good values, and we haven't necessarily optimized all of our energy efficiency stuff. Georgetown provides a lot of tools for us, and they have a self-assessment community energy tool. I worked with the planners from Athens City and Athens County, and our assessment was like this big. Like Fort Collins was like this big. So we have a lot of work to do in the next couple of years. The competition officially began on January 1st. We weren't able to tell anybody because we couldn't announce it until Georgetown did their national announcement, which was last week on the 14th. And that's why we kind of had to like sneak this whole event as a kind of quiet thing, but it's a soft launch. We're in the semifinalist stage, and if we do well over the next 2 years, we're going to make it to hopefully the finalist stage at 2017. How technical this is. There's actually a lady, her job title is Chancellor of Challenges or something like that. She works for the president, and she's got a website, it's called challenge.gov, and they give money to all kinds of different competitions. The fastest way that you can get internet to somebody, or they have like missile competition. This is just one of their competitions that they do. There's a bunch of these physicists and brainiacs that are at Georgetown that came up with a bunch of rules. Right now we're on version 8 of the rules. We have on our Upgrade Athens website a link to that. If you look into the details of what this competition is asking, it's mostly focused on becoming real energy efficient. I mean, we have this communications with the utility companies. We have AEP Ohio in our community. We have Buckeye Rural Electric. We have Washington Electrical Cooperative. And we also have Gloucester and Columbia Gas. So those are all our partners. So we're going to get real utility data from these folks. And then we're going to be transferring this information to Georgetown, and they're going to have a dashboard where all of our communities are going to be compared. So we're going to be able to see how we're doing compared to all these other communities. It's not a bunch of talk, it's real utility usage. We've got innovation, potential for replication, likely future performance, equitable access, education, and overall quality and support. The education part, there's a strong emphasis on schools, and that's why we have our Green Schools project. We're going to be working with the people that run the buildings, but also the students, using all this stuff as an educational moment. The likely future performance, I would say, would be a lot about how can we implement change in our structure of government or whatever, so that this is not going to just be a blip on the screen, but it's going to be implemented into the future. I personally think like our aggregation project is going to help us with that. We've really tried to roll in our aggregation efforts into this whole deal. Equitable access. This is not Athens City, this is Athens County. We've got some challenges in Athens County. Well, they say it's the poorest county in the state. We've got trailers, modular homes, a lot of challenges. Coming up with ways to save money. I used to live in a trailer, and I put a greenhouse on it, and I stuck straw bales around it.
I think we've got energy problems. We're going to hear something from Georgetown right now. Hopefully get you guys all excited to get involved, because that's the only way that we're going to win, not just the choir, but everybody else.
Georgetown University has two prominent individuals who've been working on this project. This video is just to give a quick hello and thanks for joining the competition.
We, along with you, are thrilled to kick off the next phase of the Georgetown University Energy Prize, where you're going to be competing for the next 2 years against 49 other communities across the country to rethink the way America uses energy.
We had started this, and we came up with our slogan over a year ago, it all starts with community. We were hoping we get to that point, and it absolutely all starts with community. So we're seeing these communities come together.
Well, and that's really a valid point, because we've set up the prize, we've established the guidelines, the criteria, the timeline, all of those things. But really, from here on out, it's not about us. It's about the communities. It's about that partnership between utilities and governments. It's about the volunteer who steps up and says, I'm going to go door to door and help people figure out how to save energy in their homes. It's about the local contractors and consultants who come up with new ways to make the community rec center and the police department more energy efficient.
So congratulations to you, in particular, Athens County, for getting this competition. You submitted a terrific competitive energy plan, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the competition.
And I'm sure the question that they all have which is really the question that everybody asks, is how do we do it?
You know, I think we all know what the secret to winning this thing is. They've all submitted energy plans. And now what they got to do is they got to get their community to execute. And I don't mean just a couple people in the mayor's office or the utilities. I mean the community. The more this looks like a community-wide effort, the more likely it is they're going to win this competition.
That's exactly right. So talk to your community, find out how you can get involved. And if you want to know more about the prize, visit our website at guep.org.
That we thought it would be easy to get this whole thing going was to include this aggregation. There's 12 states that have the legal authority to do this. Athens County, if you look at the PUCO website, most of the state has a lot of aggregation going on, but not down in this part of the state, the poorest part. The way we're doing things is, first of all, is we're kind of taking control of it and we're doing it ourselves. So this is like a homegrown process. And in this process, we created one job. Roger Wilkins here has stepped up to the plate, and he is helping SOPEC, the Southeast Ohio Public Energy Council, saving everybody money on your electric bill. Hopefully we're going to get this net meter thing figured out. We've rolled in a bunch of stuff with energy efficiency goals. Roger?
I'm the director of SOPEC, Southeast Ohio Public Energy Council, which is what we've created to do aggregation in our area. I'm going to share with you how the combination of aggregation and Upgrade Athens gives us a really powerful dual strategy for transforming our energy sector. And I just want to briefly share with you how we developed this strategy and how things fit together. We began about a year and a half ago when Chris Schmiel and I started talking about transforming our energy sector. He had run on energy issues in the campaign, and I was involved in organizing renewable energy co-ops and a microgrid project in the area. Chris went to a county commissioners meeting and there met people from the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, which is the oldest and largest aggregation organization in the country, and they're up in Northeast Ohio. He learned about that and came back and said, let's organize, let's get it on the ballot. We started talking with Athens City about getting it on the ballot simultaneously in the city and the county. We did that, and it passed. About this same time, again, Chris, with his eagle eye, noticed this Georgetown University energy competition, came back and started talking about that. And so we pulled together a parallel work group, spent a lot of time looking at webinars, and learned about this and decided we would throw our hat in the ring and join in this. About this time, the commissioners, following Chris's lead, decided that we would focus on creating local capacity to do this kind of energy organizing rather than hire outside consultants as most communities do. I prepared a contract, took it to them, and they hired me. That was the first step in creating local capacity, and that's one of the things that we're most committed to, building local economic development and local capacity. About this time, we submitted a letter of intent to enter the competition, really started to ramp up, doing a rough draft of a plan, and getting ready to really engage with that. In terms of the aggregation program, we developed a plan of governance and operation for our aggregation council. We brought on board a local attorney, John Hazley, who works for the prosecutor's office and who's been amazingly helpful. He joined the team, and we put together this plan, took it to the Public Utilities Commission and said, here we are, we're SOPEC, and they read over our plan and gave us a stamp of approval. So we were certified by SOPEC. The launch in DC of the Georgetown competition was occurring, and as Chris said, he and I and the county planner and one of Chris's kids all went to DC and said, we're here to enter the competition. And we had both the largest representation and the youngest representative. So we were warmly welcomed. On the aggregation side, having been certified now, we really existed, we sat down and put together a request for proposals to send out to energy suppliers. We were really ambitious. We laid out a broad set of goals. not only reasonable energy prices, but also energy efficiency, local generation of power, and support for our local economic development. We got a variety of responses to that, and among those were two really good ones, one from AEP Energy, and Rob Barkley sitting back over here as a representative of them. They became one of our partners. The other partner is Empower Gas and Electric. We have a number of representatives. David up here is going to address you, is one of them. And we challenged these two large corporations to collaborate in meeting our broad spectrum of goals. And they have risen to the challenge, and between them, we're able to address many more broader goals for our community than any other aggregation program, certainly in Ohio. One of the outstanding aspects of this has been the energy efficiency programming that Empower is bringing. SOPEC is now a council of governments. Amesville joined us, and it's easy for other communities to join us. And quite recently, using that organizational framework, we brought the Upgrade Athens County project under our organizational framework. So SOPEC is the mothership, and this program is part of it. Our next speaker is the CEO of Empower Gas and Electric.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here, and I want to spend a lot of time talking about you. I once owned an advertising agency, and the reason I got into this business is the advertising agency did Ohio the hard law. What's happened in the last several years is that things that you never advertised, that were never competitive, are now competitive. Healthcare is an example. The Blue Cross plans thought they had all the healthcare in the world. They had a monopoly. Today it's, as you know, completely different. Energy world is very similar. Where before you had to use AEP if you lived in a certain place, you had to use First Energy, you had to use Duke in a certain place. Now for the generation of these products, people can compete. And what that means is that we are now going to see real marketing taking place of people trying to beat out other people in selling you products and services and electricity and gas. And that's a big thing. Sarah mentioned her dream. It wasn't quite Martin Luther King, but it was still a great dream. If you were to tell me 20 years ago what a cell phone was and how many people would have it, less than 20 years ago, the only people who owned a cell phone were people who had a significant amount of money. Today, 15 years later, everyone basically has a cell phone. In fact, much like automobiles, there are more cell phones in the world than there are people. 10 years ago, I bought my first HD TV, a 42-inch HD TV, which was the largest they had. You know, now they go to 80 inches. Cost me well over $2,500. Today, I can go to Walmart or Costco, get the good brand, cost me $250. 10 years may seem like a short time. It is a very short time. Energy efficiency is a lot like this. No one was talking about energy efficiency 10 years ago. You didn't even hear the term. Now it's all over the news, all over the commercials. So is renewable power. But 10 years ago, if you wanted to do energy efficiency, you had to spend a heck of a lot of money. Because what energy efficiency meant was new furnaces, new air conditioners. That was the only way they could sell it. There was very little just insulation or just this. The government was pushing people to do their whole homes, and the only people who could afford it, even with rebates, were wealthy people. What Empower has designed is a program that takes the most important parts of energy efficiency, brings the price way down, and it's ceiling, insulation, and lighting. If you just do that, which should cost somewhere between $1,500 and $2,500. That may seem like a lot, but compare that to $15,000 or $12,000 10 years ago. You now can actually do energy efficiency in middle-class homes. And what we are dedicated to in Empower is not the wealthy people who don't need Empower. It's dedicated to the everyday people. I'm going to sound like Barack Obama now, who really are struggling. Now, why is energy efficiency important? Unlike the cell phone and unlike the television set, which costs money, this is the only product that saves you more money than it costs for the very day you put it in. I can't think of one other product like that. So it's a no-brainer. If we can create something that's inexpensive enough and then get people who will loan money, and we do have one, Citigroup, one of the biggest companies in the world, is willing to loan people as low as $1,000. And people who have credit scores as low as 600. That's a pretty low credit score, because they want to do this. The money to be able to do an energy efficiency program in their home and pay it off over time, and the savings you will get from the installation and the other stuff you do will pay each month, should be able to pay that on its own, and maybe even put money in your pocket at the same time. Now, I'm not hustling or any of this other stuff. That's why the city decided to do the program, and that's why we're doing it. The city has said, we want to open you up to every citizen in this county. It is the centerpiece, in a sense, of the Georgetown, the performance, that 25%. We have to get bigger numbers of people doing this, especially middle-class people. Palo Alto, I mean, give me a break. They can do this out of their own pockets. Why we should win is this is one of the few cities that really is a challenge to get this done. This is who we're trying to reach out and have done, not people who already get all the money. It's this particular middle-class, heartland communities that really do it. We'll come out and talk to you on behalf of the city and the county, and let's just talk and see whether this thing can work for you, because this isn't something that's going to cost you, this is something that's going to save you. So we're very excited about this. I want to win this prize as bad as anyone, and I don't get any of the $5 million. We should be able to win this, but we have no shot if we sit back and just think somebody else is going to take this on. So I'm really looking forward to helping everyone here and making it work. And I also want to thank AEP in Columbia, who are doing rebates and programs like that are very much a part of this, and we hope to tag into. And I know they're excited about this as well. Thank you.
Who's ready to upgrade? All right, I think you guys need to go get some more delicious Village coffee. Who's ready to upgrade? There we go. I hope you have found the presentations before this one to be as informational as they were entertaining. My name is Carol Davies Sayre, and I am an Appalachian Transition Fellow. As a fellow, I am one of 14 emerging leaders placed within Appalachian communities by the Highlander Research and Education Center. My role within this community centers around connecting energy to economy. I work with the Appalachian Center for Economic Networks, or ACENET, in Upgrade Athens County. And my work is to connect community members to resources, information, technical assistance, and guidance as they increase their energy efficiency. During the summer, ACENET launched a Green Pathways program as a way to help local small businesses become more energy efficient as a way to strengthen their bottom line. While meeting with various businesses around our community, it became clear that there needed to be a systemic change in order to help Athens County become more energy efficient. So I began working with Upgrade Athens County as a way to effect the larger change. For months, I have been building a network for Upgrade Athens County surrounding our emerging green economy, so we can help you save time, money, and of course, energy. You may know that your house is drafty. You may have a desire to reduce your energy consumption, but you may not know the who or the how to contact. I personally may not have all the answers to your questions, but we at Upgrade Athens County have built relationships with area businesses, experts, programs, and utilities so that we can find the answers for you. Whether you are a home or business owner, if you have a desire to increase your efficiency, we have the information to help you get started. From step 1, which we consider the home energy audit, to the last step of showcasing your success, we want to be part of the process. The first step in the journey to be more sustainable is to have a home energy audit. Our greater network can help connect you to local contractors who can complete the audits, as well as income-based programs that may be able to help you finance your efficiency. And this is our service, the Energy Advocate Helpline. This service is free and open to the public. It is designed to answer your questions and connect you to resources. It is staffed by a local person, and that person is me. The service is for informational purposes only and should not be seen as a guarantee of service. What that means is if you call and you tell me that your income is below income guidelines, if I connect you to COAD, that may not mean that COAD can guarantee you service, but we want you to have that information at your ready. We also have information on AEP, Columbia Gas incentives, as well as local contractors, and we are developing something we call the Green Business Directory. This is all local businesses that can help you from the ground up on your house to become more efficient. We see the green economy as a way to foster economic development in our county. Thank you for joining us here tonight. I hope you are as enthused about Athens' bright future as I am. We really love the fact that this room is full to capacity. All the work that we have been doing with our community members through volunteers, work group chairs, and people who help us table at the Pawpaw or the farmer's market. You are the reason that we want to do this, and you are the reason that we are going to win. Please welcome me in joining Acting Director Sarah Conley-Blue with instructions on our roundtable discussions that will follow.
We've identified 12 topic areas that we thought would more or less cover every person in the room. The homeowners topic area. Jeremy, where are you? I sure can, yes.
He's at the back of the room.
Jeremy is from HapCap, and he does a lot of work with home weatherization. He has been hard at work. We want to have a contractors table. Who's our contractor facilitator? That's Nicole. Okay. And Dan. So we have two contractor representatives. Dan Gray, who is from Empower Gas and Electric. We will have a table for upgrading your business. That is Christine, who is right in the back room. That's if you're a business owner and you want to hear about some different incentives. Hear from a very experienced business owner. Public relations and media, PR. You want to help with getting the word out about Upgrade Athens County. Sandra Slate Brennan is in the back of the room. She'll find a spot. If you are interested in how we're going to engage students in the K-12 public education, we have Wenda Sheard right here, who's very knowledgeable on that subject, so please join that table. You are a renter or a landlord reading our schools. Charlene Sugg for municipal buildings. Gary Gooseman is here. If you just want to hear general information about Upgrade Athens County and all the great projects we have going on, Carol Davies. We know that's Roger. Anytime you hear SOPEC, think of Roger. Ohio University, Elaine Getz, the Office of Sustainability, is working on any projects or would like to hear about some of the initiatives that have already been started. She's the one to talk to. There's still a lot of great snacks in the back.